Hello, hello, Josie here. Are you ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. So once again, there are some individuals that, they don't want me to speak. They want me to shut up. They don't want me to tell the truth. And God just gave me some more information. He's been putting in my mind certain characters on various shows that I used to watch many years ago. One of the shows was Oz. And I believe I've talked about this person before in another video, Vern Schillinger. And there are also some other scenes as well too from movies and whatnot. And this is not saying that I'm fixated on this behavior in any way, shape, or form, because I'm not. I'm not fixated on this behavior. I think this behavior is actually disgusting. But there are some people that engage in this behavior because it is a form of punishment. And this was done against me as a punishment by a few different individuals, rape, whatever you want to call it, however you want to phrase it. I don't like to mince words. I just get right to the fucking point. Those individuals that have instigated or initiated rape on another person, as a form of abuse or punishment, God wants me to share this with you so that you're fully aware. And this is women, females as well as men. Females rape other females. You know that, right? It's not just men raping men. It's females raping females as well too. It goes both ways. Both can be rape and a rapist. But those of y'all that have engaged in that behavior, God just let me know it's not going to be pretty for you. Some of you are not going to be passing away. You're going to be going into a state of hell. A state of hell mentally, where you will engage in certain behaviors in an attempt to try to atone for your behaviors, negative behaviors against other people. You will allow people to assault you or violate you. You might even pay people to do this against you. You might be the type that would go to a bookstore, or those aren't really around too much anymore, a bathhouse or something like that, and allow yourself to be passed around amongst a whole lot of people, and then contract different STDs and HIV, and see that as, you kind of punishing yourself for things that you've done against others. Let me tell you, it's not going to be that easy for you. Yes, some of you are going to have to go through that experience, but some of you are going to be going behind bars. And that's why I was thinking about Vern Schillinger. Some of you are going to be going behind bars. You're going to be arrested. And you're going to be in an atmosphere of hell. And you're going to be around people that are even more wicked and more dangerous than you are. More of a bully than you are. And you're going to be subjected into a role of possibly a prison fag. And vice versa for the female prison, all right? But when I tell you, it's not going to be pretty for you. It's not going to be a fun time for you. God just let me know that it will be bloody. It will be bloody. And some of y'all might really have some complications from what you're going to experience behind bars. For what you have done to other people outside of those bars, out in the world, intentionally. And some of y'all instigated it. Y'all allowed certain things to happen. You engaged in certain behaviors, and you sat back and you laughed while it happened. I'm seeing Vern Schillinger laughing each time he assaulted an inmate. He had this snicker, this laugh on his face. And his face would shift from that snicker to pure anger, right? Where he was just physically hurting you and assaulting you. It really wasn't about the pleasure. Yeah, he wanted to get off. But in a way, he was also disgusted doing that. But he saw it as punishment for those that were incarcerated because of stupid things that they did outside of those prison walls. That if they had made a different choice, a different decision, they would not be in prison with someone like him, for him to be able to violate and assault and attack and bully. So he felt justified in doing that. And God's going to allow it to happen to you. God's going to allow it to happen to you. Now, here's the next thing that God was putting in my mental. These females, some of these females that are really wicked and dangerous individuals that would wish, rape, and or sell their children to men or organizations to be violated and assaulted and raped. Let me tell you what God showed me that's going to happen to you. You're going to be someone that's going to be married and or partnered up with someone that is evil. Evil. That is also going to make you scared and frightened to even think about telling them no for whatever it is that they want you to do in the bedroom. It's one of those things where you're going to be in a marriage where every time that you engage in some kind of physical activity, sexual activity, it's going to feel like you're being raped. And the other part of that too is, and this is a little bit graphic, but hey, it's the truth. A lot of you don't deserve to have children. You should have never had children, because when you did have children, you chose to sell them. You chose to abuse them. You chose to have them turned over and raped and assaulted by other individuals at a very young age. So therefore, you should not be able to conceive. You should not be able to be a mother. And there will be none of that trying to make it happen on purpose. It's going to be, you can try, but it's not going to work. And in fact, God was specifically showing me that there are going to be some of these men that are going to be married to you or partner to you that will not even ejaculate inside of you in any orifice. These are the types of guys that will basically attack you, assault you, and then go and possibly watch a porn and masturbate watching porn and ejaculate watching porn, and then dispose of their semen so that you do not have access to it. That's how deep it's going to be for you. You're going to be longing for a child to connect with and or make you feel motherly and someone that's going to love you unconditionally, because that's what you desire, right? But you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that feeling of being unconditionally loved by a child. Because when you had that before, you abused it. You attacked it. You had it raped. You had it assaulted and violated. You stole from it. You abused it. You sabotaged it. So God's not going to allow you to have a child. And this is something he's showing me in some of these individuals' next lifetimes. It's going to be really tough what you are going to be going through and experiencing because of what you did to other individuals that did not deserve it. And you're going to be crying to God for relief. And it's not going to come. Because God was crying to you to stop your abuse against his child. To stop hurting his child. To stop setting his child up. And you didn't do it. You kept going. You kept going. You kept going. So God's not going to give you relief and or release when you didn't give his child, his children, release and relief. And you knew they were suffering. You knew what you were doing. And you didn't care. You were just like Vern Schillinger with that wicked smile and laugh. And then it turned to pure anger and hate as you are violating and assaulting and attacking. So I'm going to leave it at that because I said quite a bit there. And I needed to get that out. God wanted me to share that before I get some rest. Because there are a lot of people that are continuing to play this game and thinking that there's just like they're going to win. They keep playing this game and thinking that they're going to win, that they're going to be successful. That they're... And it's one of those things like God's letting you know it's because there's nothing that you can do to change what's coming for you, what's going to happen to you. There's nothing that you can do to stop it. So, I mean, don't even take this really as a warning. Take this as just a cautionary illustration, so to speak, of what's going to come to a lot of your enemies, a lot of our enemies, known and unknown. And that's the other part about it too, is we cannot intervene or interject ourselves in what's going to happen to these people. It's going to happen. So I'm going to leave it at that. Gotta go. Bye.